Good evening and welcome to the January 13th meeting of the Douglas County Board of County Commissioners. We want to welcome any of you who are at the courthouse or joining us online. I just want to pass on a bit of information regarding how we'll run our meetings on Zoom during this time of social distancing. If visual aids are used during the meeting, the presenter will share the screen with the call. Participants will not be able to view them without a computer, smartphone, or tablet. All participants will be entered into the meeting with their audio muted, meaning the commission and the public will not be able to hear you. Presenters will be unmuted when their agenda item comes up. We ask that all online presenters use good conference call etiquette and mute their line when not speaking. And please introduce yourself each time you speak. If you have public comment or an agenda item or under regular public comment, please use the raise your hand function on Zoom. Staff will call on you and unmute you. We ask that speakers give their names and address for the minutes. The county reserves the right to shut off the microphone and remove any speaker from the meeting if they are vulgar, rude, or inappropriate. The chat function has been disabled and the recording of this meeting will be available on our website after the meeting. I'm pleased to welcome our two new commissioners tonight, Commissioner Portillo and Commissioner Reed. Welcome, and we'll kick off with our first order of business, which will be to elect a chair and a vice chair. So I'll open it up for nominations.
Thank you, Patrick. Thank you, Commissioner Kelly. And good evening, everybody. I do have a motion. I move to nominate Commissioner Shan Portillo as our chair for 2021. Not only is she an expert in local government and public administration, she's been a strong Latina leader throughout our community for many years now. And she's also been doing crucial equity work at the state level. Plus, I do believe she's chaired a few important boards in her life thus far. So this feels like a pretty natural fit from where I sit. And I believe that Commissioner Portillo's leadership will be of great benefit and service to Douglas County in the coming year.
Happy to second that motion. All those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Congratulations, Commissioner Portillo.
Thank you. And I would like to make a motion to nominate Commissioner Reed as vice chair for the commission. I'm excited for the new leadership that Commissioner Reed is bringing to our community and excited for the advocacy work that she's done in our community to extend into this elected role.
I'll go ahead and second. All those in, this is yours, Commissioner Portillo.
All of those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Fantastic. So we are done with our first item of business. Before we get into the rest of the agenda, I would just like to take a moment to acknowledge the events of last week. Our job as elected officials, first and foremost, is to respect our voters and represent their interests while upholding and defending our Constitution. And as part of that responsibility, I feel it's an obligation to use the privileges afforded to us by our position to acknowledge and speak out on behalf of our community. Last week, we witnessed an insurrection. A white supremacist mob spurred on by our president was hell-bent on stopping the work of our elected officials in the nation's capital and overturning the will of the voters who didn't look like them or share their beliefs. What made an awful day worse was some of our nation's elected officials, including some who are part of our federal delegation, returned to the chamber that evening to continue the effort to reject the will of the voters. We're all still learning the details, but we know that 5 are dead and our country is in desperate need of accountability for those involved and those who enabled those efforts. Here in Douglas County, I'm thrilled to start the work of our commission, honoring the voices of our residents, knowing that we build a stronger community by listening to all voices, especially the voices of those who have been silenced and ignored for centuries. I believe in this commission's ability to honor the people of Douglas County and follow through on the promises of our Constitution. And I think it's time for us to get to the people's work. So our second item of business today is the consent agenda. And I believe that we take this consent agenda as a whole for a vote. Are there any items on the consent agenda that we would like to have further discussion on?
I don't have any items.
I don't either. I move to approve the consent agenda as is.
Second.
All of those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Fantastic. Then we're on to our regular agenda. The first item on our regular agenda is appointments. And I believe that the commission received a memo from Mike Bauer for appointments to the CJCC. He noted that Shay Downing's appointment is set to expire at the end of this month, but she has expressed interest in continuing on with the work of the commission representing the defense bar. She serves on the council's racial and ethnic disparities work group and has worked to encourage members of the defense bar throughout the community to engage with the CJCC's work. He has also requested that Anthony Sanchez be appointed to serve on the CJCC until January 31st of 2022. Do we have further discussion on either of these two appointments?
Are you making a motion to approve those?
I was seeing if anyone had any discussion for those appointments, or do we want to just move forward?
I don't have any discussion.
I would move to approve both of those, Shay Downing and Anthony Sanchez, to the CJCC at Mike Bauer's request.
I second that motion.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
I also have a nomination to the CJCC for a community representative. I nominate Marielle Ferrero to represent our community. She's done significant work with the Sanctuary Alliance here in Douglas County, and she has also done work with our city to focus on becoming a more welcoming city and adopt resolutions against working with ICE. And I think that her expertise around community issues in the criminal justice system will serve the CJCC well. So I would nominate to appoint her to the CJCC as the community representative from the 3rd District.
Second.
All of those in favor say aye.
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 Aye. Do we have any other appointments to consider?
I don't believe so.
No.
Well, then we are ready to open up for general public comment. General public comment will be at the end of each meeting with a limit of 1 comment per person. The commission reserves the right to place a time limit of 3 minutes per speaker if desired. Individuals may not give unused time to other speakers. As a general practice, the commission will not discuss, debate, nor will the commission make decisions on items presented during this time. Rather, they will refer the items to staff for follow-up if necessary. All comments should be directed to the county commission. Sarah, do we have anyone here for public comment?
I don't have anyone in the courthouse.
Is there anyone joining us via Zoom who's interested in public comment?
Commissioners, I don't see anyone online. This is Robin.
Thank you, Robin. Okay, then I believe we're on to miscellaneous on the schedule.
Thanks, commissioners. Traditionally, you start with me, but I'm free to go anytime you want into this conversation. First of all, I want to take this moment to just congratulate you all. I'm really excited about our work ahead of us, and we've practically made it through our first meeting. So it's a great sign for an administrator. You have a very short memo attached in the packet. So I won't read it to you, and it will be posted for further information. And that's really all I have today.
Well, I do just want to say thank you for making this a very efficient meeting for the first meeting for Commissioner Reed, and I appreciate it. Do we have any other items, Commissioner Reed or Commissioner Kelly?
I do not have any today.
I would just express my appreciation for your comments at the top, Commissioner Portillo. At the legislative breakfast, I shared my initial thoughts, recognizing the work that we still have to do as a community, as a state, as a country on some of these issues when it comes to racial inequality or our democracy. It's really tough to see. It's really tough to read the news continually. It seems like I worry about us growing further and further apart. And I think we just have lots of work to do as a country. And so I appreciate you taking the time to say those things up front.
Thank you. And I do want to take a moment to thank you for your leadership of the commission and your service as chair this past year, Commissioner Kelly. Thank you.
I also appreciate your service and leadership, and I'm glad that we are on Zoom, even though it was spurred by the pandemic, and watching you and other commissioners make motions for the past several months has helped me practice some of that language and get a feel for how we do things as a commission. So I appreciate that, and excited to get to the work of it all with you.
Well, Commissioner Portillo, I'm sure you have one at home, but I'd be happy to drop off to Sarah my rubber mallet that has served as our gavel since March. Is that about right, Sarah? Yeah, for quite some time. So I'll retire her, and I don't know why I called the rubber mallet her, but yeah.
That's far more imposing than the mallet here at the courthouse. So. Yes.
That looks like a mallet to really get some business done.
Absolutely, absolutely.
It's really great. It has my daughter's name, like, you know, she wrote her name on it, like, in case, I don't know why she thinks it's hers, but yeah. Great.
Maybe she plans to be a county commissioner someday.
Oh.
Sarah, I also want to take an opportunity, since this is such an efficient meeting, to say that I appreciate that, and it's a nice ease in to the role, and I appreciate all the leadership and time and dedication you've given in the past couple months since the election to make sure that this new commission is ready to roll as of this week. So thank you for all of that.
Thank you. And I would say, you know, this does happen on occasion. We actually generally have pretty efficient meetings, and there are some meetings that are all consent. So this was not a special occasion necessarily for your first meeting. You know, we all look forward to them so that, you know, we can kind of all get back to the work ahead.
Well, with that, do we have a motion to adjourn our meeting? Do we have any other business before we wrap up?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll go ahead and second that. All of those in favor, I think, can just leave the Zoom.
I don't think we vote on adjournment.
Okay.
So, all right, thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.